economics class from Sasindran. In this video, we will discuss in detail about changes in demand. Okay? Changes in demand. Yeah. Changes in demand. We know the law of demand states that large quantity of a commodity will be demanded at a lower price than at a higher price. It means that when price rises, quantity demanded falls. And vice versa, that is, when price falls, more quantity of the commodity will be demanded. Therefore, there is inverse or opposite relationship in between price and quantity demanded of a commodity. Very simple. Here, we will discuss about changes in demand. Yeah, changes in demand as a result of changes in the price of the commodity is called movement along the demand curve. Here, we will discuss about changes in demand. We know changes in demand as a result of changes in the price of the commodity may be of two types. Changes along the demand curve, that is downward movement along the demand curve and upward movement along the demand curve. Okay? That is what is called movement along the demand curve. Again, see, changes in demand curve may be due to certain non-price factors such as income of the consumer, taste and preferences of the consumer, prices of the related commodities, climatic conditions, etc. Okay? Yeah. Changes in demand due to changes in non-price factors consisting of income of the consumer, taste and preferences of the consumer, climatic conditions, etc. has been known as shifts of demand. Ready? So, in brief, changes in demand may be of two types. See? Shifts of demand and movement along the demand curve. Right? Yeah, movement along the demand curve and shifts of demand. Again, see, movement along the demand curve may be further classified as upward movement and downward movement along the demand curve. Similarly, shifts of demand may be further classified as expansion of demand and contraction of demand. Right? Yeah. Let us discuss all these things in detail by using or with the help of diagrams. Okay. First of all, see, changes in demand along the demand curve due to changes in the price of the commodity. Okay. Just see the diagram. See the diagram, right? Yeah. See, in this diagram, x-axis represents quantity of the commodity which is demanded. Y-axis measures price of that commodity. Okay. We know a typical demand curve will be always downward sloping from left to right. Downward sloping, or the slope of the demand curve is negative. Yeah. In this demand curve, we know At OP price, see OQ, quantity of the commodity will be bought, will be demanded. Okay? Yeah. At OP price, OQ quantity of the commodity will be demanded. And it should be remembered here that if the price of the commodity falls from OP to OP1, this much decremental changes in the level of prices can be seen. The quantity demanded will be increased from OQ to OQ1. OQ to OQ1. See here, there is downward movement along the demand curve DD. This is what is called downward movement of demand along the demand curve. Okay, this is known as expansion of demand or changes in demand along or movement along the demand curve. See here, the movement along the demand curve, that is the quantity demanded increases from point A to point B. Downward movement along the demand curve, this is known as expansion of demand. Okay, and then on the other hand, here see the demand curve, you just suppose, this is the case of contraction of demand, that is movement along the demand curve due to rising the level of prices. Very simple. First of all, movement along the demand curve can be explained by using two terms: expansion of demand and contraction of demand. When price falls, more quantity of the commodity will be demanded, that is what is called expansion of demand. When price rise, quantity demand will be decreased, that is when price rise, quantity demanded falls, that is what is called contraction of demand. Here the demand, supposing the initial price of the commodity is supposing OP1. At OP1 price, OQ1 quantity of the commodity will be demanded. You further suppose the price of the commodity increases from OP to from OP1, increases from OP1 to OP. Here quantity demanded will be decreased from OQ1 to OQ. Here the movement along the demand curve from B to A, this is what is called contraction of demand. Very simple. Once again, changes in demand may be of two types: movement along the demand curve, that is expansion of demand and contraction of demand, and shifts of demand. It implies increase in demand and decrease in demand. Okay, expansion and contraction of demand is due to changes in the level of prices, and shifts in demand, that is increase or decrease in demand, may be due to certain factors other than price, okay, or non-price factors like income of the consumer, taste and preferences of the consumer, prices of the related commodities, climatic conditions, etc. constitute non-price factors. Okay, so changes in demand due to non-price factors may be called shifts of demand, consisting of increase in demand and decrease in demand. And by increase in demand we mean changes in demand due to favorable non-price factors. Okay, and decrease in demand may be due to unfavorable non-price factors. I told you, non-price factors may be prices of the related commodities, that is complementary goods or substitute goods, income of the consumer, taste and preference of the consumer, okay, related climatic conditions, etc. Right? And the shifts of demand, that is increase or decrease in demand, can also be explained with the help of a diagram. Okay, just see the diagram. See, just listen. Yeah, as usual, x-axis represents quantity of the commodity demanded. Quantity demanded. Y-axis shows its price. Yes. We know a typical demand curve always slopes downwards from left to right or negatively sloped. Yeah. This is the typical demand curve DD. And at supposing the initial price which is determined is OP. At OP price we know, see, this much quantity OQ level of output will be demanded. Yeah, here, see, the notable point here is changes in demand due to changes in non-price factors like changes in the income of the consumer, changes in tastes and preferences of the consumer, changes in climatic conditions, changes in related commodities like substitute goods or complementary goods, etc. Okay? Yeah. Here, the price of the commodity remains unchanged, say OP itself, but quantity demanded increases. And here the original demand curve DD will be shifted to D1, D1, shifted to rightward or upward. And at this very same price OP, here the quantity demanded will be increased from OQ to OQ1. This much incremental changes in the level of quantity which is demanded can be seen. Okay, here the original demand curve DD shifts to D1, D1. Okay, yeah. See, the distance between DD and D1, D1 represents the actual change in the quantity of that commodity which is demanded due to or consequent upon non-price factors. Yes, this is the point to be noted. And in opposite case, supposing here the quantity demanded of that commodity will be increased due to favorable changes in non-price factors. Yeah. And in opposite case, supposing the initial demand curve is D1, D1, that is at OP price, OQ1 quantity of the commodity will be demanded. And here the quantity demanded of this commodity decreases due to unfavorable conditions or due to unfavorable conditions of the non-price factors. Like income of the consumer may be decreased by that much. Yeah, climatic conditions may be unfavorable, right? And price of the related commodities may be changed, etc. Causes downward or backward or leftward shifts of the typical demand curve D1, D1 to D2, D2. Here the demand curve shifts backward D1, D1 to D2, D2. And due to the unfavorable conditions of the non-price factors, the quantity demanded at present is OQ rather than OQ1. Yeah, this much decremental changes can be seen. In short, changes in demand may be classified into two. Changes along the demand curve and shifts of demand. Changes along or movement along the demand curve implies changes in demand due to changes in the price of the commodity in question. Yeah, changes in demand or movement along the demand curve may be of two types: expansion of demand and contraction of demand. By expansion of demand we mean when price of the commodity falls, more quantity of the commodity will be demanded. That is what is called expansion of demand. And contraction of demand we mean when price rises, quantity demanded falls. Contraction of demand. Okay. Again, shifts of demand may be further classified as, see, yeah, upward shift or rightward shift of the demand curve and backward or leftward shift of the demand curve. The notable point here is shifts of demand curve, that is changes in demand due to non-price factors, yeah, like income, taste and preferences, climatic conditions, price of the related commodities, etc. causes, yeah, forward or backward shifts of the demand curve. Yes, very simple. At the very same time, it is very important. Okay, I think you like this video. If you like this video, give me a big thumbs up. Please don't forget to subscribe my channel. Okay? Study thoroughly. Have a nice day. Thank you.